there and welcome back to another one of my thrilling videos where I talk to you about the kind of cameras that I pick up, usually from charity shops, but not on this occasion, shoot with and then share the results with you. So today just going to be making a very short video about another camera which I picked up fairly recently, and that camera is the lovely Yashica 35MF. I can't quite remember how I came upon this camera, but I think, as we all know, I was on YouTube during lockdown and I stumbled upon this camera, and I really like the aesthetics of this camera. I did a little bit of research and and most importantly I must give credit where credit is due. So during my research I found out that this camera fundamentally, I think anyway, came out around about 1976, 1977, but it's probably about a 30-year-old camera. But I will put these links in the description below, but there's a great article over on Casual Photophile by somebody called Craig Sinclair, excellent article. There's another really good article on filmadvance.com by somebody called Gary, no other name, you know who you are. And there's also a blog by an individual called Nielsen Abil. Apologies if I've pronounced that incorrectly. And they all talk about their experience with the Yashica 35MF. So as I always do in these videos, just give you a little bit more detail about how much I paid for the camera. I paid £25 for this camera. I purchased it from eBay. And the person that I bought it off of said he had a really good experience shooting with it, so I was really kind of keen to get into that. I'm trying to think if there's anything more I need to tell you. No, so £25, came out in the late 1970s. There isn't a great deal online about this camera, but the people that I've told you about seem to be totally in love with the camera. So that's why I wanted to give it a go. So as I always do, without further ado, we're going to have a little closer up look at this camera, and then at the end of the film, as always, you'll see the result. Just a quick thing, I just wanted to clarify. So when shooting with the Yashica, I was using the Ilford HP5 Plus black and white film. I've never actually shot with true black and white in the 35mm camera, so that was great. I had two rolls of this, one 24 exposures and the other 36 exposures. It's quite interesting when looking at the results, because this film has an ISO of 400, and all of the weather has been just glorious over like the last couple of weeks. So contrast is a little bit kind of here and there, but as always I'll be really interested to know what you think about those. So without further ado, let's have a look at the camera. Okay, so without further ado, let's just have a little bit more of a close-up look at the Yashica 35MF. So we're just going to go through things in a very matter-of-fact way. So straight away, if we go for the top first, you've got obviously your shutter release button there and your film advance lever, all working as they should be. You've got the flash indicator on the top, which I'll show you in a minute, and then this is the flash compartment here, but we'll get to that in a minute. On the back of the camera, well, you just have the compartment to put your film in. Reasonably clean. I had a little bit issue with this deteriorating, so I need to get that sorted out, but that's that for that. You have the compartment for the 1.5 volt battery, which powers the light meter. I have tried to see if I can show you the light meter inside, but it's very hard for you to show, but rest assured that your light meter can be viewed from within the viewfinder. Something that I really liked about this camera, which appealed to me, is that the actual film rewind lever or mechanism is on the bottom, and usually you find this on the top of cameras. Usually they're located here. So I quite like that about this camera, and you've got the rewind film button there, so when you're ready you press that in and you just rewind it. Just pull it out and just turn it in the direction of the arrow, so that's really cool. You've got your battery compartment at the bottom there. It says 2 AA batteries, which is always handy, AA being my go-to battery. And then if we just get to the front of the camera, so this little lever here, or lever, depending what part of the world you're from, all you do, this is if you want to take group pictures, so you just pull this down and then you press your shutter release button, and that takes your picture. And then this other fancy button here, this is to help release the flash up here. So you press this in, up that pops, so you're ready to take a flash. The light on the top of the camera has gone orange, so we are now ready to take a flash. Oh, there we go, lovely flash there, almost blinded me. So yeah, and then just last but not least, just having a look at the front of the camera. So 38mm lens, aperture 2.8. The way that you have to change the ISO, it's this very fiddly little ring on the front of the camera. So where it says DIN and ASA, that's just an oldie worldy way how they used to talk back in the times where nobody existed. But now it's ISO, and you just basically have to turn this ring. So it's a bit stiff, but if you see there, I've just changed it from 4 to 500. So we're going to leave it on 400 because that tends to be the ISO that I shoot with. Is there anything else that I can think of to talk to you about? Oh yes, and is this camera a rangefinder? Because I'm going to shut the flash down. Is this camera a rangefinder, or is it not, I suppose? Some people think it is a rangefinder and other people don't. In the articles which I spoke to you about earlier, they pretty much rule out that it is a rangefinder, but this is why some people think it is a rangefinder. So the only thing that you need to do on this camera, other than you know, pressing the button, is you just have to select what mode you want to be in. So is it going to be for portraits, slightly step back portraits, groups of people, or landscapes? Now if we turn it around on the bottom, it gives you the distance in meters and feet. So obviously the first one, if it's a portrait picture, you know, being 1 meter away, 3.3 feet, this should be quite good for lockdown actually, working out how far you need to stand. But yeah, next one is 1.5 if we go with meters, the next one is 3 meters, and the last one is infinity. So apparently this isn't a rangefinder, and I don't know enough about photography to quite know the difference. I'd be interested to obviously share with you my results, and then you know, you can help me to understand what I need to about this camera. But effectively that is your Yashica 35mm. I found shooting with it an absolute joy. The mechanism had a nice clunky kind of feel to it as you're taking the picture. So you go to press that shutter release and you get a really clunky, really kind of satisfying feel. I love the film advance lever as well. This really satisfying, and it kind of makes you stand out, because I've never seen anybody with these cameras. And I tell you what, this thing is heavy as well, so it gives you, it feels really nice in your hands. But anyway, I'm going on now. So without further ado, please enjoy the pictures at the end, and let me know your thoughts and comments, and I'll see you soon. Take care.